which is bridle number 185. TI studs Brenda Lee, another import brought in by Ina Kruger and owned by Ina and Chart Kruger, and ridden by CarlBoonzaaire, who is the stud rider and produces and competes many of the stud horses for Ina. Carl going around inside the arena to announce himself to the judges. Rather intimidating for all our riders, no matter how seasoned they are, riding for 5 judges. Carl also having ridden about 5 horses throughout the show. And Carl moving into his first medium trot for the test. TI's Brenda Lee tending to be a little bit on the hotter side. Carl being an open rider in various disciplines in the equestrian industry, competing in the 150s in show jumping, also having competed in the FEI classes in eventing. So far, Carl having a really smooth ride through all the trot movements, moving now into the walk. He'll also be preparing for his medium tour ride later on TI Spartacus, also owned by Ina Kruger. Ina herself having just competed earlier on in this class and having a really, really nice confidence building round. Carl is coached by Natalie Hobday and has been coached by her for nearly 10 years now. Natalie currently residing in Cape Town but coaching all over the country after having worked in dressage and ridden herself and competed overseas. Looking at the extended walk now. And so far a fairly smooth, fluent and mistake-free test. The riders, of course, having to ride from memory as well. Most of them riding multiple horses, so having to remember in excess of 3 tests per day. Moving into the canter half passes. Ready for a flying change. Carl himself being a stickler for flying changes, so no margin for error there. Moving into the canter pirouette, you can see adding a little bit of energy but collecting at the same time. Keeping the canter rhythm. And counter-canter through the turn into a flying change right in front of the judges. Slightly early in that change. And Brenda Lee now getting a little bit keen and ready for the rest of the test, so Carl having to make sure that the mare stays focused and on the aid. And again, fluent change. Ready now for the sequence changes, 4-time changes across the diagonal to start. And rhythmical and very correct across the diagonal. Moving on to the 3-time changes, so now again the horses have to get a little quicker and sharper. While Carl might be focusing on his dressage horses this weekend and riding for Chart and Ina Kruger for TI Stud, he's also one of the riders that flies the Callahoo flag high and currently competes Callahoo Casperon in the open classes, as well as several other rides for many owners in Gauteng. And completing his test now. Very fluent, very few mistakes, although Brenda Lee looks like she's ready for another test now.